there, everyone. This is Grace of GB Maltese, and as you can see, I have some items in front of me. This is going to be the giveaway package for this week, as this is number 3 WIP and Chat for all things Craftably 21, and I'm going to tell you, I am loving to see all of the beautiful pictures you guys are uploading on Instagram. Some of you have sent some to me through email, and they're beautiful. I'm so excited about this. But I'm going to show these to you very quickly. We got a bag of chocolate here, and we got a bag of some hard candies. Some of them are Werther's and honey candies and that kind of thing. Then I've got a Craftably mug. I love my Craftably mug, so I feel like everyone needs to have one if you're working on a Craftably, which is, to me, the best diamond painting place to buy my diamond paintings. I have so enjoyed working on this one I'm working on. But the other item I have, it's not, well, candy's not really, well, yeah, I guess all of this could be diamond painted related, okay? It's comfort. Diamond painting is for comfort. And these are sheet masks for your face. They are just comforting. They feel good. It relaxes me. So I thought, hey, some of you who might not have ever tried them might get, like to try this. This one is a collagen, and this one says anti-aging, wrinkle care, and brightening. Now, it's not to try to say anybody needs it. I use them because I feel good. And these are so nice. You use one package at a time. You take these out. I believe these have a backing on them, and then they just stick. Most of the gold ones that I have are like that. And you just place them under your eye. I lay back and just relax. Leave it on 15 minutes or however long you feel like doing. Same thing with these sheet masks. It's just a relaxing time to chill out. And then I have another set of these from Wilson 3D Designs. These stack on top of each other so that you can have one color here, one color there. When you're ready to use that, you just pull this one off. When you want to cover it up, you can do that. And then it has this little tab. I put it on wrong. It's easier to do it from the back. And you just pull it off, and you have your little spouts here. And so you're getting 2 in 1. Now, my favorite things are these pens. Who doesn't like a good DP pen? Well, I love everything, but let's come into these a little closer. This is one that was made by Fantastic Painters, and it's gorgeous. I'll put a link to their shop. This is called Fairy Dust. Isn't that pretty? Such a pretty pen. And then this is one that I bought from Bella's Diamond Painting Pens. And it's got, you see the gold, the black. It looks like silvery looking colors. And then you have this orange stripe running through. It's beautiful. It is, of course, these things are always prettier in person. So, this is what's up for grabs. As you're listening to me today, I've got an interesting story to share with you today. So, I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to, sometime during the WIP and Chat, I'm going to tell you what you need to put in the comment to be able to be entered. It'll be something easy, okay? It's not going to be something difficult. So, I'm going to put these to the side, and I'll be right back. Okay. I have my beautiful Puppy Craze Petunia I'm working on. And I have all of the white done. for the background and all that. I'll bring you up real quick because my camera goes crazy when it has too much shining in its face. See all the white? And now I've started on a light mint color. So that's what I'm going to be kind of working on today. So let's dive back down. Ooh. And let's get busy on Petunia and her puppies. Okay, let me get this in a way that I can let you see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to be working on this area right here. I have done some already, as you can see. I love doing the checkerboard method. These are squares, and these are really nice squares. I have really been relaxed working on this one because the squares are not just crazy. They're not for me. They are awesome. And you can see all the squares I've done here. Turn my light on so I can see it a little bit better. I don't need it quite so bright. There we go. Turn it down. Whoop. I'll go up one notch. Okay, I love this light pad. This is one that I'd shown, I guess last week. I don't know, but I love it because you don't have anything on here. It's just great. And I'm going to be using my pen, a wooden pen. I'll put links to the different places where I am using my pens and the ones that I am giving away. And of course, I'm using my beautiful drill tray that my nephew made for me. And he is seriously thinking about opening up a shop. Look at that. Yes. If you missed that video, you missed seeing that part. But it's already ready for me to go and start diamond painting with it. Okay. I hope you are doing fabulously today. I have been looking at a story. This is a true crime, and it's not a gross one, a real gross or anything, but it is true, and it happened in 1916. And it happened in, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Missoula, Montana. I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on our criminal today. Her name is Bessie Leigh. That is her married name. She was born, actually, to start with, in Michigan. And her parents, when she was 2 years old, got divorced. So she lived with her mom. And her mom married again, so she was with mom and stepdad. It didn't really give us any information because I did a interview with Bessie, and Bessie just said that after her mom left the stepfather, they moved to Ohio. Don't really know what all went on, but she did not like her mom's rules. I don't know if it's because they were too tough on her, or she didn't really say. So when she was 18 years old, is what she said, when she was 18, she left home because she was sick of her mom's rules, and she thought she'd be better off on her own. Well, now, at this point, when they're interviewing her, she said, I should never have left. It would have been better if I'd stayed home. Well, yeah, hindsight is 20/20, as they say. Anyway, Bessie left home at 18, and she met a man, Tyndale, I believe was his name, Leigh, and Tilden. Oh, I got Tyndale from Tilden Leigh, and they got married. They were married for a few years. During that time, they had children. Her husband worked for the railroad company, and for some reason he decided to get into one of the cargo carts. He went in there and to steal. He went into the train, into one of the box cars. It didn't say what he stole, but it said that it was for burglary. So he was caught. They put him in the pen for 6 months. Okay, so Bessie hung around. Don't know how many children they had at that time, because then he got out and he then got a job doing something else at the railway. He was actually working with heat. He was a smelter where they get the metal real hot and they're able to get out some of the impurities. So that's what he was doing. That was his job. Bessie did not say that she was employed at all. I guess she was at home being a housewife. Well, for some reason, he decided to go and do the same crime that he did before. He went back and got into a box car and was stealing. Don't know what. This time, they gave him between 2 and 2.5 years in prison. Well, Bessie was 26 at the time, and she felt so lonely. They described her as a vivacious, curvaceous young woman who was very lonely. But, get this, they had 3 children. She shouldn't have been lonely, except for the fact that she put her children in an orphanage. Yeah, she's going to get Mother of the Year for that one, isn't she? She took her kids and put them in an orphanage so she could go off and do whatever. And she did. She left. Never heard again what happened to the children. Don't know. It's really sad. Of course, with a mother like that, it might have been the best. So she went off and she got a job on a ranch. And on this ranch, she was a cook. She cooked for all the men who were working there. And she met this man named Fred Tillman. And it describes him as a 32-year-old, ruggedly handsome man. Well, that's just little Bessie's cup of tea right there. One thing that he did not mention, that Fred did not mention, was that he was estranged from his wife. Yes, he was still married, and he had 6 children. Well, Bessie can't say much. She's still married, and she gave her 3 children away. Wow. So they got together and had an affair. Okay, this is what was said to have happened. I don't know what their arrangement was. It doesn't say, and you're going to find out why they didn't get to tell the whole story. Both sides of the story didn't come out. But Bessie was mad because Fred was telling her he loved her and he wanted to marry her and blah, blah, blah. Well, there's an old book on the records at this time that if a man seduces an unmarried woman and he has promised to marry her, then he has committed a crime. It didn't say what the punishment was, but that's what she was telling the sheriff. Now, nobody really knows whether she had prostituted herself to him and he just didn't bother to pay her, or after he got what he wanted, he decided, I'm not marrying you. But she was mad. She was a scorned woman. And you know what happens when you do that. Yeah, fury has no wrath like a scorned woman. So she went and told the sheriff that he had seduced her. Now, I'm going to show you a picture of dear sweet Bessie. This is a mugshot. And you can just see how beautiful she is. When I saw the picture, I'm like, well, it's a mug shot, so it's kind of hard to tell what she looks like in those clothes. But this is Bessie Leigh. I can get her in there. And Fred had the hots for her, I guess. And I guess she had the hots for him. So, when he decided not to marry her, or do whatever it was that he was supposed to do, she went to the sheriff. And that's the reason this says The Seduction of Bessie Leigh, Missoula, Montana, 1916. And Hellgate is the name of the county, I believe. So I thought that was very fitting. So the sheriff was going to take them in for questioning. Now, during this time, they're both arguing, one way or the other. She never said she was married. He never said he was married. So that's the way it went. So the sheriff decides, okay, guys, we are going to go to my office in Missoula, and we're going to get this straightened out and figure out who is in the wrong. Well, on the way, they took them together in the same car. He was driving in the car, and he had Fred and Bessie in there. Well, unbeknownst to anyone, Bessie had smuggled a handgun in the folds of her dress. Ah, well, I wonder what Bessie has in mind. Excuse me. So on the ride there, Bessie points the gun right at Fred's face, point blank, pulls the trigger. The newspaper goes on to say that Bessie's sweetheart died 2 days later. Now, she told the sheriff and the newspapers, everybody, that when she committed this crime, she had actually taken a bunch of drugs because she was trying to commit suicide. Because she was so, I guess so, depressed and just so hurt. But, evidently those drugs did not kill her. But that was her defense, that she was on drugs. Well, the people who were for prohibition, they ran with that one. They said, see, people shouldn't be allowed to have alcohol and drugs. Look what it can do. Yeah, they had a field day with that one. But the chances are that Bessie probably was a regular drug user. She just came up with that little lie all on her own. Such a sweetheart. Gives up her children. Lies. She told people when she was going to stand for trial, she said that when her husband went to the pen, she thought that meant she was automatically divorced from her husband. Yeah, right. Well, no, that's not the case. What the law read was, if your spouse goes to the pen, you have grounds for divorce. Well, she just kind of, overlooked all that, I guess. She can, find that very rare law about the seduction. If you seduce me and promise to marry me and you don't, you've committed a crime. Well, little old Bessie was put on trial. Excuse me. And she was found guilty of manslaughter. And I'm thinking to myself, manslaughter? Maybe back then they didn't have like first-degree murder, but she had a gun with her. Everybody had to have known she was planning this. I mean, really? She's got a gun in the folds of her dress, puts it right up to his head and shoots him. Well, anyway, she got 8 years for manslaughter. That was it. We do not know how long she was in prison or what happened afterward, but the kind of funny thing about the whole story is that she was sent to the same penitentiary that her legal husband was incarcerated in. So, welcome home, darling. And that's the end of that story. I looked and looked to try to find more about her life, but it didn't tell anything else. I just thought that was interesting that there is even a law, a seduction law like that. I don't think that's on the books any longer, but that was a law at one time. Very interesting. So they said that it was basically like a man ordering a wedding cake and getting to sample the wedding cake and then not pay for it. That's what it was like when he seduced Bessie. Okay. Go from cakes to seducing a woman. Well, I don't know how much seducing went on there and how much she was selling herself for money or drugs or who knows what. Because Fred was not able to testify in his own defense. So that is one thing that will never be known. What actually happened. Because, of course, Bessie can give her story. I was on drugs. I was so upset. I was so upset. I was trying to kill myself. And them drugs made me kill him. Can't you hear it now? Well, the jury didn't believe it. But 8 years. Gosh, that's I thought she would get a lot longer for shooting someone point blank in the face. That's pretty harsh. But a sad thing that happened was poor Sheriff Whitaker was not reelected for another term because they said he could not even take his prisoners to the jail without something happening. So they didn't reelect him. Poor Sheriff Whitaker. Too bad he ever got involved with little old Bessie. So, what'd you think about that story? I just happened upon it. I find some of these things kind of interesting, and it's kind of neat to see some of the laws that were around back in the day. So she was 26, so I guess she was maybe born in 1890. Because it happened in 1960. They said she was 26. So there we go with Bessie. Not only was she a murderess, she left her children in an orphanage. I hope those children were put in a good home, but back then, I don't think things were probably checked over that well. Today, it's not that much great either. It's just sad that all that happened. You always feel sorry for the kids. They didn't ask to be born to Bessie Leigh and to dear old Dad, who is in prison. So, I don't know. I just felt bad for them. Are there any strange crime stories that you've heard about that you thought were really interesting? I found a site called the Dark Corners of History on the internet, and that's what I was looking at, and I found that. And I thought, that's kind of interesting, and that's something I can tell pretty quick and not bore you, but there's a lot of different kinds of stories. And some people like me to just chat about other things too. My great nephew, the one that my sister's grandson, he is just the cutest thing. He is so funny. He is 3, and he has gotten to where he tries to negotiate with, people. Like, for example, when he's eating his dinner or whatever, he'll say, okay, if I take one bite of, let's say, chicken or whatever, can I have 2 gummy worms? Of course, Mom says, no, you can't. You need to eat all of it. Well, how about if I take 2 bites? Can I have 1 gummy worm? So he is the ultimate negotiator. Maybe he's going to be a lawyer or something one day. There is no telling. But he is funny. Kids say the darndest things, I'm going to tell you. When my daughter was 2 years old, I will never forget this. She was sitting in my lap. I think she maybe was sitting in between me and her daddy. And we were reading something to ourselves, okay? And she had a toy that she was playing with. And all of a sudden, she looked at me and she said, Mama, what are you doing? I said, I'm reading. She said, well, I can't hear you. And I said, well, I'm reading with my eyes. And this was the cutest thing. I wish you could have seen it. She blinked her eyes like this very quickly. And she said, she was trying to read with her eyes. It was the cutest thing I think I've ever seen. So she's such a smart little thing. She was reading not much longer after that. She learned to read very early in life, and she loved books. Oh my goodness, she loved books. But we read to her a lot, and that's one thing I can't stress enough to parents and even grandparents, because if you're part of your grandchild's life, read to them. That will instill a love of reading to them. And they love reading time. And I don't know if any of you remember, there was a toy called Teddy Ruxpin. And Teddy Ruxpin was a stuffed teddy bear. And he had a cassette player. Yeah, this is a long time ago. We had cassette players. And you put a cassette player in there, and he would read stories to you. And you have a book that goes along, and you can follow along with it. Well, Catherine, I guess she's got a lot of her daddy in her, because when her daddy was little, he used to take his toys apart. Well, Catherine was messing around with Teddy Ruxpin, and the next time I saw him, he was missing his bottom jaw. I guess she was trying to see how he was talking. I don't know. I don't know how she did it. She was just little, and she just took his jaw off. You know, he just had a bottom jaw. He just had the top part of his mouth, so he couldn't move his mouth any longer to read. I think we got her another one for either her birthday or the next Christmas. She loved her Teddy Ruxpin. I don't know whatever happened to that last one, because we would, when it was time, you know, for our birthday or Christmas, we would gather up toys, and we'd tell her, so we're going to give these toys to some other kids that don't have toys. I mean, they were in perfect condition, and we let her help us pick them out. She was real good about that. We wanted her to know she needed to share, because she was an only child. People always tell me, you need to have another one. I said, listen, Catherine is that child that you have. And you say, if I'd had her first, I would never have had another one. She was quite the little hellion, but I loved her to pieces. Oh my gosh. She's my pride and joy. But boy, was she something else. I had a teacher who used to tell me, I just love to hear your Catherine stories, because boy, did she pull some fast ones on me. It's pretty bad when your, little child can sometimes outmaneuver you in their thoughts. When she was in high school, she was actually on the debate team for UIL, and she did very well. She won trophies. I remember going and watching her debate. We were able to go in and watch her debate this young man. This was high school age, of course. And they were letting people go in to watch. And Catherine stayed so calm. I'm like, oh my gosh, he was making me mad. They were given a topic, and they had to they told them whether they had to be for it or against it. So they had to debate it, whether it was something that they really believed in or not. So she did such a good job, and she won. I mean, she won that debate. She got all the points. So when I was watching her, I'm like, oh my gosh, she would be a terror in the courtroom. But that was not her path in life. She loved animals. She loved insects. She loved nature. So when she first started college, she was going in for journalism because Catherine is a fantastic writer. Absolutely fabulous. And she started out in journalism. Then she told me, I think after her first semester, she said, there are too many people trying to get into journalism. I think it might be harder to find a job. And she went into science. Science had always been one of her great loves also. She pretty much loved everything. She was good at it. Even when she was a little girl, she played with bugs, and I got her this little insect circus, and she'd catch bugs and put them in there and watch them. So she majored in biology and minored in chemistry, and she is using her science degree to this day and does very well. I'm very proud of her. So anyway, got off on that, just talking about, kids. Kids can say some of the funniest things, and I wish I had written down some of the things, but sometimes you just don't think that you're going to forget it, but then you do. So anyway, let's talk about the giveaway now, because I'm just going on and on. What I want you to do is I would like for you to tell me, let's see, because I hadn't really thought about it a whole lot. Now, I've asked all kinds of questions in the past, different kinds of things. But this time, I'd like for you to tell me, what are your favorite colors? If it's just one, you can tell me one. But some of us have more than one favorite color. For example, I love teal, and I love this purple in here. All these pretty colors. I like the pinks. And sometimes you change. I love this mint over here. I like it in a little bit deeper color, but I love teal and turquoise, like is right in here. Those, they make me happy. But I think these two mixed together are fabulous. And what I would like you to do, so that it doesn't become too obvious to people who are watching, I would like for you to use the color that is your favorite, or colors, in a sentence. I know that sounds, oh my God, you're bringing out your school teacher out. Well, yeah, I guess I am. But I might tell you, my favorite diamond painting pen is purple, green, and gold, or whatever colors. And you don't have to really own that diamond painting pen. I'm just using that as a, Or you might say, I have a sweater that is black, orange, and yellow. It is my favorite sweater. And something easy, but that way, because people go and look sometimes in the comment section, and they say, oh, they're just listing colors. That must be what we have to do. So if you use it in a sentence, that makes it, because I really want people to win who are watching me. When we do giveaways, it is for our subscribers. And the person who won I did a second drawing. They did contact me the next day, and I did appreciate that. And I also was contacted by the first person, and she explained her situation, and I understood it very well. The reason it got me, I guess, so upset before was that this has happened to me so many times. Probably at least 3. And I've been scammed 1 time. So if you start getting a little bit, gun shy when people don't, come to you. If you come to me and tell me, uh, it's just the people who don't tell me anything at all. That's what really hurts. But she was so sweet. And I told her, I said, you know what? I'm going to get you a little something because it was something that was very tragic in her life. I'm not going to tell you what it was. And I said, I still want to send you a little something. I'm sorry. She said, I really didn't mean to miss it. And I said, I understand. And I do. I am not a mean, hard-hearted person. I promise you. I love people. It's just that when, it just takes a few rotten apples to ruin the whole barrel. And so that's the reason I made that video. It just kind of hurt because I've had this happen before. And I am so sorry. And I did have some people tell me in the comments, and thank you for giving me that insight, because sometimes you're not even thinking something happened, because you're thinking, I gave several days, for them to contact me. So I felt bad. So I usually give a week. This time I didn't give quite a week, but I will. Now today, I'm not doing the drawing today. You've got to first make the comment I told you. Use a sentence with your favorite color or colors. My favorite colors. You don't put that. Don't put my favorite colors. Just because then people, all I did put my favorite colors are. I will know when you say, because this is truly some of my favorite colors. I would love to buy a diamond painting pen that is black, turquoise, pink, and let me see, I think yellow is the color I was thinking of. I thought that would be a cool combination. So you can just talk about a diamond painting pen, or I would love to have a diamond painting tray in teal and teal and pink would be pretty, or that teal and purple on here. Yeah, so something like that. And if you don't like what I showed, you don't have to comment anything. Another thing, only comment 1 time. And if you want to add to your comment, you can go back and edit it and add it in there. If you want to say something else, you can say all you want to in that 1 comment. If you want to tell me, oh, I really like the story, and you know what? I wish I had a diamond painting pen that was pink, purple, orange, and whatever. Okay? So I hope that I made that clear enough for you, and I hope you did enjoy the story. And I'm going to tell you goodbye for now, because I'm just rambling on, but I love this. And I am talking to my nephew about these, and he's trying to just figure out what the pricing would have to be, because they're not cheap to make. And if you've bought a 3D tray, you know that. And he's trying to do it the best price that he can do. And he's a very sweet guy. He's not going to try to cheat people. Anyway, I've just got to tell you, I love you guys. I hope you're having a wonderfully blessed day, night, whatever it is. And God bless you. Take care of yourselves. I love you. Goodbye.